Do you feel heavy? I don't mean physical weight. I mean in your soul. You wake up tired. You go through your day with a low-level anxiety humming in the background. You feel like you're running a race while wearing a backpack filled with stones. You try to fix your life. You read the books. You buy the journals. You try to think positive, but nothing changes. The weight remains. Why? Because you're trying to run a marathon without taking off the backpack. You're carrying the ghost of every failure, every insult, and every mistake you have ever made. You think these things define you. But there is a rule among the ancient Zen monks, a rule so simple yet so profound that it can change the trajectory of your entire life in a single second. It is the rule of putting it down. If you are ready to stop carrying the dead weight of your past, subscribe to the TGR Flurby. We are here to lighten the load. To understand this, we must look at the famous story of two monks, Tanzan and Ikido, traveling down a muddy road in heavy rain. They came to a river crossing. There, standing on the bank, was a beautiful young woman in a fine silk kimono. She was afraid to cross because the mud would ruin her clothes. Now, the monks had a strict vow. They were never to touch women. It was forbidden, a serious breach of their discipline. Ikido, the younger monk, looked at her and walked past, keeping his vow pure. But Tanzan, the older monk, didn't hesitate. He walked up to the woman, picked her up in his arms, carried her across the mud, and set her down on the dry side. Then, the two monks continued their journey in silence. But Ikido was fuming. Inside his mind, a storm was raging. He couldn't believe what he had just seen. 5 hours later, as they reached the temple, Ikido couldn't hold it in anymore. He shouted at the older monk, "Why did you do that? We are monks. We are not supposed to touch women. How could you break your vows?" Tanzan looked at him calmly and said, "I left the woman at the river 5 hours ago. Why are you still carrying her?" This is the secret. Ikido had not touched the woman physically, but he had been carrying the weight of that moment in his mind for 5 hours. Tanzan had touched her, but he had let the moment go instantly. Who was the sinner? Who was the prisoner? It was the one who couldn't let go. Science calls this rumination. When you replay a past event, an argument, a failure, a rejection, your brain does not know the difference between the past and the present. Your amygdala fires. Your body releases cortisol, the stress hormone. Your heart rate rises. You're physically reliving a trauma that doesn't exist anymore. Your Ikido. You're walking through your office, your gym, your home, carrying people who haven't been in your life for years. You're carrying arguments that ended last week. You're carrying the you who failed 5 years ago. No wonder you are exhausted. Your brain is processing 1,000 timelines at once instead of just the one you are living in. Let me be brutally honest with you. You are not traumatized by your past anymore. You're addicted to it. You hold on to your grudges because they make you feel righteous. You hold on to your failures because they give you an excuse not to try again. I can't start a business. I failed in 2019. I can't trust anyone. My ex hurt me. You're like a man standing in a prison cell where the door is wide open, refusing to walk out because you have grown fond of the walls. The woman is at the river. The failure is in the past. The embarrassment is gone. You are the only one keeping them alive. And as long as your hands are full of yesterday's garbage, you cannot pick up today's opportunity. So, how do we apply the monk's rule to your modern life? We use a technique called the physical release. Most people try to think their way out of overthinking. That doesn't work. You need to act. Step 1. Identify the burden. Right now, what is the one thought looping in your head? Is it a fear? A regret? An anger? Name it. Step 2. The grip. Find a heavy object, a rock, a dumbbell, a book. Hold it in your hand. Squeeze it tight. Hold it until your arm starts to burn. Feel the tension. This pain is what your mind is doing to your soul. Step 3. The drop. When you can't take it anymore, drop the object. Physically, let it hit the floor. Feel the relief in your muscles. Feel the blood flow back into your hand. Your mind works the same way. You have to consciously decide, I am putting this down. Every time the thought comes back, say to yourself, I left that at the river. This is your action plan. For the next 24 hours, you are on a mental fast. You're not allowed to time travel. If you catch yourself thinking about yesterday, stop. If you catch yourself worrying about tomorrow, stop. Look at your hands. Look at the room you are in. Be here. The past is a ghost. The future is a dream. All you have is this moment. Do not let the mud of the road ruin your walk. If you're ready to drop the weight and finally live, comment below, I am free. Like this video to leave the past behind. Subscribe to the TGR Flurby to walk the path of the focused. Dismissed.